If you've been tracking with the channel, of course you know that we've been looking in detail at the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, both in terms of what they offer for gaming, but also what the Pencil in particular adds to its creativity. So we asked professional artist and designer I-Wei Huang, who's been using the iPad Pro and Pencil for a couple of months, to tell us how it works for him.
The Apple Pencil is about the size of a regular pencil. It's got a really nice weight to it, very nice balance with a connector in the back for recharging. The nib has a little bit of grip to it. It works great for angles. I'll get to that in a minute. Compared to the Wacom stylus, there's no buttons and no eraser. You charge by just connecting it to the iPad, and it will give you about 12 hours of use. And if you do run out in about 15 seconds, it will give you about half an hour of use. So it's very quick. The accuracy on the Apple Pencil is amazing, and the sensitivity feels great. Probably the best I've ever used on any tablet. The parallax on the iPad Pro with the pencil is really great. It feels like you're just kind of drawing on the screen. Now compared to the Wacom Cintiqs, it feels like you're drawing, and your drawing is actually under a piece of glass. So your pen nib and where you're drawing is offset. And no matter how you calibrate it, it kind of gets worse on the edges. The pressure sensitivity is also really great. It's actually too much. I never thought I'd say that, but it feels like you have to really etch on the screen to get the fullest pressure. So I actually turn it down in Procreate. You can edit the pressure curve. So I turned the low end up a little bit and the high end way down to get a better feel. I have a light hand, so the lower end of the pressure curve really matters to me. On the Apple Pencil as well as the Cintiqs, they feel great. On the Intrigue of the Surface Pro as well as the Galaxy Note and the older Wacom tablet PCs, the lower end of the pressure curve just doesn't register when you're just resting the stylus on the screen. You actually have to apply a bit of pressure. The most significant thing about the pencil for me is the tilt. By tilting the pencil, you can get different lines, much like using your actual pencil. Now Wacom does support tilt, and in a program like Painter Pro here, it's kind of unpredictable and hard to control, and a lot of it is due to the shape of the nib. It's designed to kind of go in and out and not be tilted to the side, and so it doesn't work very well and it's hard to control. Now, the Surface Pro with the Intrigue stylus doesn't support tilt. On top of it, you can't go down too far in the angle because the nib will stop registering because it's not actually touching the screen. Now there is one downside to the Apple Pencil with the iPad Pro, which is there is no cursor. The hardware doesn't recognize where the pencil is until you touch the screen. So you can't hover. And when you can't hover, you can't see where you're going to be painting or the size of your brush. Now compared to the Wacom Cintiq, you can see your cursor before you actually put it down onto the screen. So you can see the size of your brush before you actually start painting. And for example, your eraser, you can size it up and down, and you can see what size it will be before you actually use it. And that makes painting a lot easier and faster. I've been using mostly Sketchbook Pro and Procreate. Those are the most natural feeling apps that I found to use with a pencil. And on both of those, the resolution, you can go very, very high with more than enough layers to work with. The pencil's nib has a little bit of texture to it, but the screen is very smooth. I end up putting a screen protector on it. It also makes the screen matte, so it's good for reflection. And the surface feel of it is pretty amazing. In my previous review, I've talked about how much I love the Cintiq Companion's screen, how it feels, the kind of the texture, the tooth to it. With this screen protector, the pencil feels exactly the same, so I was very happy with that. So the iPad Pro is very thin. Compared to a regular iPad, it's about the same thickness, but obviously much bigger. But when you compare it to the Cintiq Companion, the Companion feels like a big computer, something that you don't want to carry around with you all the time. I love drawing with the iPad Pro and the pencil. It's the most natural feeling device that I've ever used, especially with the tilt of the tip, the accuracy. With the screen protector, it really feels like you're drawing on paper. Apps like Procreate and Sketchbook Pro feel just amazing. It feels like you can do just about anything with this combination. Now the Cintiq Companion is an amazing computer, but it is a computer, it's a PC. There's constant window updates, viruses that you have to worry about, and the battery life is not great, and it overheats, it's loud. So drawing on the iPad is a much better experience, especially when you just want to create something. You just pick it up and draw. And for that reason, I love it.